Cuba, it's me. Welcome to episode 310 of the W.I.L.L.I.W show, which stands for Wrestling is Life, Life is Wrestling. Now, last night, WWE held its 25th anniversary of Monday Night Raw, so I'm going to do a review of it. The show started out with a video package. There's a lot of video packages throughout the night. Most of them were pretty well done, as usual. So, Stephanie and Shane kicked off the show. And I was I was disappointed Vince McMahon wasn't there. So then they finally bring him out to a huge pop, and he's just amazing on the microphone. I just enjoy hearing him on the microphone. And then I thought that was all it was going to be because he was doing such a good job on the mic. And then Stone Cold's music hit, and I felt like a teenager again. I'm like, this is awesome. And then he gave a stunner to Shane because Vince was playing up the whole thing. It was pretty funny. And then he stuttered Vince, and then he stuttered Shane again. But he didn't talk on the microphone. I'm like, what? That's all I wanted to do was hear him talk. I don't even care about the stunners. I was glad they let him do the beer thing, because I didn't know, because of PG, right? But, yeah, I really wish they would have let him talk. That would have been even better, because he's better than everybody else on the current roster on the mic. But, I still enjoyed it. It was nostalgia. I felt like that was the right way to start off the show, for me anyway. When I think of Raw, I kind of think of Stone Cold. So then they came with an 8-women tag match, and I'm just like, why are they doing this? I just want to see all the old stars, but I get it. They got to put over their current product, and they got to try and sell the show on Sunday. I think it would have been better if Raw 25th was like 4 weeks before a show, before like a big show like Royal Rumble, because then they wouldn't have had to make such a big deal about the show on Sunday, but it was what it was. The match was not that great, and they obviously a lot of the matches here were not that great because they weren't given a lot of time. Everything was rushed because it's like either give them a lot of time or just don't even do it. I would have rather see like all the girls from the past come out and pick who they wanted to win this year's Rumble. But anyway, so Sasha Banks got the win for her team, and I was just about ready to go check my phone. And then Asuka started throwing them out, and it was kind of exciting there at the end. So that was a good way to end it. Then they showed a package. Undertaker's up next. My heart almost couldn't handle it. I'm like, oh, jeez. And then I loved it because he was in the Manhattan Center. And like Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler kicked it off in the Manhattan Center. And to be quite honest, I really wish they would have had the whole show at the Manhattan Center instead of having both buildings. So Undertaker came out. It was so cool having him come out. Howard Finkel announcing, and they didn't turn off the lights. It was really neat having him come out, and then he just he doesn't really say anything, and it was just like, what's the point? At least throw some guys and let them chokeslam them all or something. And I'm like, I was really disappointed because I couldn't wait to see Undertaker, and then it was just like, why did they even bring him? So then they had a backstage thing with Kurt Angle and Coach and Harvey Whippleman and Brother Love. I popped huge for Brother Love as the crowd in the arena seemed to as well. And then Boogeyman. I'm like, really? Out of all the guys, they bring Boogeyman? Like, they have so many better guys they could have bring. I felt that a lot with this show. There was a lot of people they bring back, and I'm like, well, what about all these other people? There were so many people that I wish they would have bring back. And then, so that segment was pretty crappy. Like, I know they're trying to fit all these guys in, but putting them in a really boring, non-entertaining segment. And then they had the Acolyte Protection Agency segment. And I mean, I popped when I seen everybody, but then it was just like, yay, glad to see you. Now I don't want to watch the segment. I didn't enjoy any of this, to be quite honest, with Heath and Rhino and Million Dollar Man, Jeff Hardy and MVP and the Usos. Who else was there? Natalia, Titus Worldwide. It was just, like, I get it. They're trying to give everybody a little spot, but I never liked any of those APA skits back in the day anyway. That was not something that I ever remember from Raw as standing out to me. But, okay, I get it. So then they go into a match, and I actually thought this match was going to be the main event. I thought they were, like, the 25th anniversary, they're going to close it out with Roman Reigns and The Miz. But, so I was kind of surprised when it was halfway through the card. The match, like I said, they didn't give them that much time. I mean, they got decent time, but I just loved the crowd, how they were so over with The Miz, and I was actually shocked. I didn't think that Miz would win, But he did, and I'm glad he did. But now I'm like, no, does that mean Roman Reigns is winning the Royal Rumble, doesn't it? Um, so what happened next? Oh, Christian. I was so happy to see Christian in the mic in the ring. I'm like, what, Christian? He's one that I really wanted to see, but at the same time I didn't expect him to see there and then get a talking role and the peep show and he's like, oh, did you miss me? And they didn't even really pop for it that much. And then Rollins and Jason Jordan came out and I'm like, oh, for Pete's sakes. But it was really cool how the crowd was booing Jason Jordan. And then Cesaro and Sheamus came out and they were kind of like faces for ragging on Jordan. And then the whole scuffle was just continues the angle, and Rollins hits his own partner. It wasn't that great. It was great to see Christian. I enjoyed that. So then Bray Wyatt versus Woken Matt Hardy, and this was back at the Manhattan Center. And this was just basically a squash match. It's like, why even put them out there if you're not going to give them any time? Like I said, I'm not sure. I'm just trying to remember it. I might not have the orders right, but so anyway, I just thought that was kind of a waste of a time. I'm not huge into Woken Matt Hardy. I'm not huge into Bray Wyatt. I respect both of them, and I think they're doing a good job at playing their characters, but I didn't really want to see it like a 7-minute squash match. But I was happy that Bray won, because it should make for an interesting angle down the road. Then I popped huge with Elias when he was looking at someone and it turned out to be Jericho, and he sang his song and put him on the list, and I was like, yes, that was awesome, that was perfect. And then I see Elias in the ring again. I'm really, they're gonna give this guy 2 segments in like 25 minutes when they just gave these other people like such quick things. And then Cena came out, and I was kind of happy with the ending where he just got low blowed in the guitar shot. It was kind of cool to Cena would job out on the 25th anniversary. And then the whole APA thing broke into a tag match, and it was Heath Slater versus Rhino versus Titus Worldwide. And I'm like, really, why are they doing this? Putting like one of their weakest segments, or not segments, like 2 of their weakest teams, 2 of their performers who are like not over at all out there. And I was like, you know what, I bet you APA is going to run out, or like it's going to continue from that. But the Dudleys came out, and I was so happy because I know Bubba Ray had retired, and I thought maybe some more people would come out, but I was happy just to see them put them through the table. That was kind of cool. And then, so it went back to the Manhattan Center, and Shawn Michaels and Triple H came out, and I'm like, really? Like, I don't know. I just was never huge into DX. I mean, they were heels, and I thought when they were doing a lot of their antics back in the day, I wasn't a fan of them. I liked the whole Sergeant Slaughter spit thing. But anyway, it felt like Triple H talked forever. And finally they bring out the guys I wanted to see, like the New Age Outlaws. I love hearing the whole stick, right? Reminds you of your childhood. And X-Pac came out, and Scott Hall. And then the Balor Club, and I'm like, this is really going to be something. I'm not a fan of Finn Balor. They've kind of been teasing that he might be a heel lately. And I was like, yes, this is awesome. And then they all just too sweeted each other. And I'm like, oh, for Pete's sakes, that's not what I want to see. But, and then the Revival came out, and I was like, okay, maybe something's good. And they had a really short match, and then the Revival took everybody's moves. And, I would have rather see Razor Ramon versus 1-2-3 Kid in like a 5-minute squash match. And then, so they went for their finish. The setup to this was good. They had all the performers around the ring. Seemed like it might be something different for once, and it was just the same old crap. He did him through the table. He put Brock Lesnar through the table. Kind of a weak finish for me. I would rather see The Rock or somebody else or something big. The other thing I really did like, even though it was just a quick pop for each of them, when they bring all the 10 women out and past women superstars or whatever, because I wasn't expecting to see some of them, and I'm wondering if any of those ones will be in the Royal Rumble, or they won't, or they were kind of seeing what kind of pop. But they all got good pops, and it felt so emotional that I actually was like, I kind of got a tear in my eye almost, and I don't know why, but that and the Stone Cold were my favorite segments, and I'm ashamed to admit that, but that's the truth. So yeah, it wasn't Like, I enjoyed it. It was still better than a normal Raw, I'll tell you that. But at the same time, if I would have done a 25th anniversary Raw, I would have had so much different stuff. I mean, you're not going to please everybody, I guess, and you're not going to be able to fit everybody. There was a lot of people that were left out. And, but, like I said, I still enjoyed it more than a normal Raw, and it was still cool for the things that I did get to see. Instead of complaining about what I didn't see, the things that I did get to see, there was some cool stuff. But I'd love to hear from you guys. Let me know what you thought of the show. What did you like? What did you not like? What was your favorite part? Because as always on the W.I.L.L.I.W show, like or you get a leg drop, comment or you get a clothesline, subscribe or you get a suplex. I'm your host, Elian Habanero. I love wrestling. Cuba!